Computer. There we go. There you go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. My name is Chris, and I'll be presenting LifeWave, most exciting information about stem cell technology patches, together with a friend of mine, George, that is in Spain. I'm in South Africa, George is in Spain, and we will be your hosts this evening. So welcome everybody to this call. I see there's quite a few new names. Put your safety belt on and get ready for the ride of your life. We've got some really exciting information to go through with you guys tonight. So let me just open this up. There we go. And move this over here. And slideshow and from beginning. Okay, can you see it, George?
Yeah, I'll let you run with it.
You let me run with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, how's that for being put on the spot, guys? How's that? Wow, okay. Let's get started. Have you been patched yet? Have you been patched? We're going to be talking about biotechnology applied in human beings.
Bio-nanotechnology.
Bio-nanotechnology. George, where did it start? Tell us about this.
So, LifeWave was established 20 years ago in San Diego, California. I came across them 12 years ago. Didn't pay so much attention, but in the last 3 years, they came out with a new product called X39, which accounts for 80% of their sales, and their sales basically went up 10 times because of the X39, which we're going to tell you about. That has such an effect that everybody who uses it just tells their friends and family. And they're projecting to triple the sales.
That's my burger.
Can we mute whoever it is? Mute. Can you do a general mute?
I can only do it if I stop sharing screen.
Okay.
So
Okay. No, I'll do it. I'll do it from here. I did it. Okay. Sorry about that. Their projection for 2025 is to triple their sales. And in one of the interviews I saw with David Schmidt, who you're going to hear a lot about a bit further down the line, he said they have the production in hand set up to be able to triple the production. They're in over 80 countries and amongst the 50 fastest growing companies in the United States. With the technology, I think we have here a little video on the technology, on the concept, to give you a little bit of context, and then we'll go in more detail.
Perfect. There you go.
Light, an ancient form of energy that goes back to the dawn of time. For us, it all begins with the sun, the source of light and life for our entire solar system. Even Einstein concluded that everything we're made of contains light. All life originates with the sun through photosynthesis. Plants and vegetation collect the light, and all living creatures emit light. Humans actually emit infrared light, which can be seen with night vision devices. We've known for centuries that light has many effects on the body. LifeWave's phototherapy patches use light to stimulate the body's natural healing systems, providing specific health benefits. Here's how the technology works. First, a patch is applied to specific points on the body. Where the patch covers the skin, infrared light emitted from the body is reflected back into the tissue. This stimulates the skin, which in turn stimulates specific regions of the brain. The brain then taps into the body's own natural flow of energy and the ability to heal itself. Let's take a look at why this is important on a cellular level. For example, a number of our patch products help counteract free radicals, oxygen molecules that damage cell proteins and contribute to visible signs of aging. When the body is stimulated through phototherapy to release its own antioxidants, these free radicals are neutralized naturally.
Okay, so you've just seen how the product works. Now, very quickly before I start explaining about what X39 and stem cell activation patches are, what has it done for people? Now, I'm going to very quickly tell you how I got involved with LifeWave. It was the end of last year, and George saw me on a Zoom call, something that we were doing together last year, and I was run down. I was very close to burnout. In fact, in November, I spent 2 weeks in bed from burnout. And George saw me on the call, and he sent me a message saying, Chris, you're not looking well. I'm worried about you. I've got something that I think can help you. It's a stem cell rejuvenation technology in the form of a patch. Now, I've heard of the word stem cells before, but I didn't know anything about it. So I said, okay, George, send me some information. He phoned me up on a Saturday morning, and he said, Chris, you haven't ordered patches yet? I suggest you order patches. So I did. I followed George's lead. I registered, and I ordered the X39, and I received my patches on the Monday or the Tuesday. Very skeptical because I didn't know anything about it. So what I did was I put the patches, just before I was about to put the patches on, I contacted George, and he said, right, do you know how it works? So I made the assumption, and I said, yes, George, it works on absorption. And he sent me a message back saying, no, Chris, you totally missed that one. This works on low light wave frequency. And I don't know, something about what George said, when he used the word frequency, I thought, hang on a second, this makes total sense. I put the patches on, and after day 5, my mental clarity, my clarity of thinking was as sharp as a razor blade. My brain was like it was maybe when I was in my mid-20s, late 20s, and I haven't felt that in years. I think that's a combination of feeling the rundown that I had last year. But it took about a month, and my energy levels have increased like you have no idea. My dizziness has gone away, is totally gone. I used to suffer from vertigo, where I would take motion sickness tablets to take the vertigo away. Since I've been on the patches the last just over 2 months, I haven't taken any of those products at all. So, you know, there's one thing when you're talking about a product, but when you actually experience it and feel the benefits yourself, that's when you really start to share with confidence and with passion, and that people can feel it immediately. Later on during the presentation, I'll tell you a mind-blowing story about my mom, but I'll get to that just now. So why X39 stem cell patches? The fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age and the slower you heal. Now, there's hundreds and millions of people that are experiencing symptoms of aging. Now, I didn't know this. At the age of 30, only half of your stem cells are active. And then by the time you get to 60, you almost lose, you lose most of your stem cell activity. Now, how does X39 works? This is the holy grail of anti-aging. It stimulates the copper peptides in your body. So what it does is there's nothing coming into your body. It's non-invasive. It's made of organic nanocrystals, which is formulated to activate your copper peptides, which then reactivates your own stem cells. So what it's doing is telling your own body to heal itself. You want to cover this exciting part, George?
Okay, so David Schmidt, a visionary in my view. He's a scientist and inventor. He's the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of LifeWave. They have over 130 patents. As it says here, scientist and inventor. Twice he's received the Advanced Technology Award and the International Home of Fame. He was, I watched him in an interview, and I found this really interesting. He was contracted by the Department of Defense to develop something for submariners to help them with their energy, so they wouldn't need to be using caffeine or things like Red Bull. And in that process, he developed this technology, and the first patch that came out of that work was what they call the energy enhancer. So then what happened? The towers went down, and as he says in his words, The Department of Defense had other priorities, and he thought, what am I going to do with what I've created? And he said, let me see if I can take it to the public. And he set up the company, about 2 years kind of groundwork, and he was on a plane. The man next to him said, this is very, very interesting. Can I tell a doctor friend of mine in California about this? And they'd been talking, and the doctor friend in California then said, can I tell another doctor friend of mine who's the Olympic swimming coach? And that doctor said, can I introduce you to the coach? Will you come and patch the team? So that's kind of how he saw, wow, word of mouth, person to person is how come I'm patching these swimmers. I'm going to run my business like that. My business is going to develop like that. And that's why we're here talking to you. I love that story.
And this is a copy of the patent of the X39, which is, as we were saying earlier on, this is the holy grail. This is the foundation of products. The X39, it's like it's a heat-seeking missile that goes into your body and just about fixes absolutely everything. And that was patented just 3 years ago. And that's where...
And Chris told us something very interesting about patents the other day. I had no idea about the cost of them.
Absolutely insane. If you're looking at a worldwide patent on one product, you're starting off at $1 million US. That's for one patent. And LifeWave has got how many? Over 130 patents. So a lot of research and development has gone into LifeWave, specifically having the patents. That's where we say, the company is 19 years old. They call it a 19-year-old startup company because the first 10 years was really setting the foundation in place. So we talk about activating your stem cells, and this is what the X39 does. You get rapid pain relief, reduced inflammation. It supports wound healing, energy and vitality, which I have felt myself. The mental clarity, let me tell you, I would pay $1,000 a month just to get the mental clarity that I have now. It enhances sports performance, faster recovery from exercise, and improved skin conditions. Now, I met some people on Friday afternoon. We had a presentation at Sandy's house, and there were a couple of people that I hadn't seen, some in about 2 years. And they said, Chris, what are you doing? You are looking younger. You look like you are actually de-aging. And that's exactly what's happening with the stem cell patches.
It's true.
It is true. Well, what's quite interesting is when we met some people on Sunday, we were talking about age, we were talking about patches. There were about 20 people at this function. And the guy said, how old are you? I said to him, I'm 48. He said, no, you cannot. You look like you're 38. I said, no, I promise you I'm 48. He would not believe me. He would not believe me that I'm 48. I was going to go get my ID book out of the car.
Love it.
So the long term...
Well, one of the things that's really interesting to kind of understand at the beginning is this is a continuous and a cumulative process. So things happen at the beginning. In the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced, decreased symptoms for people with PTSD, people's anxiety and depression lifts if they have it. I will say we have a wonderful person on this call, Susan Sell, who's in the island of Mallorca, who sent a testimony about 2-3 weeks ago saying that amongst the things she said, but what struck me the most was she said, for me now, it's almost impossible for me to be negative. And I love that. So within 3 months, the collagen is increased, decreasing wrinkle, hair growth increases. My daughter had a lot of problems with her fingernails. Last year went to dermatologist because they were almost peeling back and breaking. Now that doesn't happen. I get it all day long, people saying to me, you're looking younger than you ever, what are you doing? Increases structural integrity of both your skeletal and muscular systems. And then within 6 months, they did a test in this particular test with 14 out of 15 people. I forget the machine they used, but they analyzed the blood, and the vascular age drops by an average of 8 years after just 6 months of using X39. So David Schmidt, he says it's not anti-aging, it's age reversing. So it's something that I'm not going to let go of. Now that I've been using X39, it's part of my, it's part of my life.
Well, you talk about where do you find all the information? There's a website called startx39.com, and this was put together by our leaders, a lady by the name of Onyx Cole, together with our leaders, Harvey and Olga and Mark and Stephen Gina Merritt. They've been in the industry for many, many, many years, and Onyx Cole, she in the network marketing industry built teams of hundreds of thousands of people. In fact, a couple of years back, she actually retired. She made over $17 million in the industry, and that was with a product, I think it was juices, if I'm not mistaken. And she went into retirement, and somebody approached her. Now, listen, if you got $17 million, I'm sure you can retire for a while. I think maybe your kids and your kids' kids can retire on that type of money. And she got approached to have a look at LifeWave, and she used the product, and she got hooked and said, "Oh my goodness gracious!" And she came back into the industry just over 3 years ago, and she's put a system in place. And this is what and the team that we fall under is called Quantum Field. And it's the fastest growing team in LifeWave because of the system that's in place, which we'll explain in a little bit more detail now. And then very, very quickly, just on how to actually wear the patches. Now, the clinical trials and the studies were done on people during the day, using the patch 12 hours on during the day and then 12 hours off during the night. Now, there's two places that you would put it. You would put it at either the back of your neck, or you put it 2 fingers below your belly button. That's where all the nerve endings are. You put a new patch on every day. And the most important thing is that you drink lots of water. There we go. You'll see us. We've got our water all the time. Some people will get results very, very quickly. Some people get results within minutes, some within hours, days, and sometimes it could take people a couple of weeks. It took my mom 3 weeks for the product to work. I'll explain a bit more about that just now. But one of the most important things, if a product is not working as quick as a person wants it to, a lot of times it could be because your body is actually dehydrating. So it's absolutely vital to drink a lot of water.
I want to add something here. David Schmidt always says it's a 90-day protocol. So I have a person who after 2 weeks said, "I'm not really feeling anything. I'm not sure, but I will do the 90 days. Mm-hmm. And after 1 month, 5 weeks was, I feel 20 years younger, got more energy, more focus. I'm sleeping better, even though I slept well. And most importantly, I want to use my body. And previously, I never wanted to use my body. So, yeah." And then she said, "I'm really looking forward to seeing what's happening in the next few months."
And if you look at that top picture of that's what we call a sleeve. It looks like a little envelope, and that's what the patches look like. And a sleeve is a 1 month supply, so you actually get 30 patches in a sleeve. Just looking at what, as I mentioned in the previous slide, what it does for scarring, you can see in 21 days what it's actually done for this lady in the pictures there on the scarring. As George mentioned just now, people are saying that we're looking younger. Visible results, and that's only after 3 to 6 months people can actually see the results because of the increase of collagen. It also makes your hair grow, and I also heard that your natural color starts coming through. So those gray hairs start to fall out and your natural color starts coming back. This is another picture of what the patches have done specifically for scar tissue. When we reactivate our stem cells, our bodies recover the healing abilities that we lose as we age. Antioxidant levels go up, while simultaneously inflammation is reduced and the collagen production is enhanced. Look at this after just 12 days. George, take this one.
All right, super. They did a clinical trial with 12 people, again, using the patches in the places we described during the day, using a machine. It's a P3 EEG machine. Not sure what that is, but I'm sure it's expensive, that's for sure. And what they did these particular kind of scans on the person's brain. In this case, a 77-year-old woman with the patch placed on the back of the neck. They did the scan before the use of the patches, after 3 weeks of using the patches, and after 6 weeks of using the patches. So we see a lot of inflammation. All the red is inflammation. We see a much better condition after 3 weeks, and after 6 weeks, an even better condition. So that also underlined for me the fact that it's continuous and accumulative. Now, for those who wish to see the clinical trials on the Start X39 site, there is a section where you can link to and read all the clinical trials. That said, I'd read a couple, and that's kind of medical, and that was enough for me because I'm seeing the results. My friend Javi, who is in our upline, has become a really close friend. He has an autistic son, and the results in his son were stunning. He said, I don't need to read any of that. I know what happened to my boy with using the patches after spending well over $20,000 on traveling to get stem cell injections, which did way less than the patches do.
Hey, look at this. After 45 days using the X39, check those wrinkles. I'd love to see this same picture of the woman, see what it looks like after 180 days. Imagine what that's going to look like. Now this one,
I could add this. I had lunch with a friend the other day, and she said, if you get rid of my wrinkles, I'm going to tell everybody in the whole world.
And this picture, it's a little bit gory picture, this. But you know what? They say a picture speaks 1,000 words. This is a person who went for operations. Look at 2 weeks and look at this person's face after only 7 weeks. George, you love this one.
Yes, a child's finger, almost necrosis. I mean, don't really know if they lost the whole tip of the finger, but after 21 days, this is the result. We have a person in Thailand, a Spanish lady with a Israeli husband living in Thailand. So their daughter, they took her to Bangkok for a cleft palate operation, and the doctor said she'll be on crutches for a week. The first day, she used crutches. The second day, no crutches, and then she's sitting on the sofa with her legs bent underneath her. They took bone out of her thigh and put it in her mouth. They expected her to be in the hospital for a week. She left after about 4 days. The mum put X39 by the wound in the mouth area, and on the thigh.
And on the forehead as well. I saw that picture of it on the forehead. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then here we go. This is after only 1 month. You can see how the collagen has started already restoring and getting into the skin. This one over here, George, you know the story of this one?
Lady was going to have surgery. 5 months of X39, didn't need the surgery for these allergy-related bumps and lines. And this is where we see the pictures of Michael Phelps with the energy enhancer and the swimming team. The circles, you can see the patches there. And David Beckham again, energy enhancer. Energy enhancer is 2 patches in a packet. There's what do you call it, Ice Wave, which is like a pain relief patch, and the Energy Enhancer. They are both, let's call it like a positive, negative, a brown patch and a white patch. So you use both of them together in specific spots. All the sleeves come with the information of where to place particular patches. Again, this is a famous basketball guy. This one is the one I find most interesting because I'm not a footballer, never been keen on it. Anything throwing balls around is not my thing, but I am a motorbike guy. Love motorbikes ever since I was a kid. Do very long motorbike rides, and this guy is a super bike champion. I've been at some bike races, and he puts it on the X39 on his forehead for concentration. So I think on my next bike ride, my next long one, I'm going to do the same. Then I did a bit of research on the global stem cells market. I wanted to understand, when I first saw this, I saw a video where with David Schmidt, he's got doctorates, but he's not a medical doctor, where David Schmidt was speaking to health professionals. And when I understood that, what he was describing, I said to myself, this is absolutely revolutionary. I need to try it on myself, which I did. So then I understood about the patents, and I go, wow, this is very, very interesting. But I need to understand something about the stem cell market. Is this really, because I hadn't paid any attention to stem cells, because I'd heard the words fairly often over the last few years, but I also heard aborted fetuses, stolen placenta, and it's like, no, this is not for me. Which was the thing I said to the person who gave me the first video that I looked at. But then I said to myself, I need to understand a little bit about the stem cell market. Is this something growing or not? So 12 billion in 2021. This is a website you can go and find, grandviewresearch.com. And the US market in 2021 was 3.9 billion and basically set to triple by the end of the decade. Personally, now I think it's going to be more, but that's a market in growth. For anybody who decides to take advantage of the compensation plan, that's a very, very interesting place to be, with a product that's unique, with a product that's patented, protected, and in a market that's growing. So do continue, please, sir.
This is the part that I love the most. George is just talking about the patents. So you got a product that works and it cannot be copied. That's like really sitting on a gold mine, because this is not a Me Too product. So the industry that LifeWave has decided to go is the network marketing industry. Now, the network marketing industry is the fastest growing industry in the world. In fact, it's made more millionaires than any other industry in the world. And as George mentioned, that's talking about word of mouth. So LifeWave could have gone the traditional route, putting adverts on TV, adverts in newspapers, that type of thing, and spend a fortune trying to get the product out there. But who better to get a product into the marketplace than people that are actually using the product and sharing it with other people and getting rewarded for it at the same time? So instead of paying these big media companies for advertising and paying for staff and salespeople, they rather put it back into the hands of the people that are using the product and actually sharing it. Now, as George mentioned, the company went from 20 million to 280 million in the last 2 years. Now, most companies after COVID are busy closing down right now. Now, a company that is 10xing themselves in this time frame, it means that we are onto something. And this is not a Me Too product, where there are so many different companies out there that sell different tablets and pills and powders and that type of thing. So we in a total different league. We are exclusive. We are in a league of our own, because there's nothing that can compete with this product. So There we've covered everything about the product. A lot of people on the call are thinking, okay, this is pretty cool. I like what I see, but now how can I turn this into a way to make an income? Because we're talking about health and wealth. The two are totally interlinked. So what do we all want to do? We all want to spend time with family, time with our friends. We want security. We want to travel, better health, which is so important. I like the bottom there, less debt. A lot of people are playing catch up after the last 3 years. So now's the time to make a move and have a look at something different, something unique. You say, are you serious about your dreams? A lot of people have forgotten how to dream because of what's happened in the last 3 years. The world has been turned upside down. And this, I see LifeWave as a lifeline for people with their health and their wealth. Right. Now you probably think to yourself, right, how does this all work? I like what I see. I'd like to get started. I might want to dip my toe in the water, and I actually want to maybe just try the product to get started. How would you get started? There's 4 different ways that you can get started with LifeWave. The first is a bronze kit. Now, there's a cost of $124.95. That gives you 1 sleeve. This is, you become registered and you enroll with LifeWave. There's a silver kit, which is $299. That gives you 3 sleeves. Oh, you want to jump in there, George?
No, always, every kit, you have to add the local tax, whatever your local tax is in your jurisdiction, and shipping.
Yes, I must actually add that on there. Thanks, George. I'm going to make a note of that. And then there's the gold kit, and then you get platinum and you get diamond, which we'll go through in a bit more detail now. Now, there's 4 ways that you can make money with LifeWave. The first one is your product introductory bonus. That's when you share LifeWave with other people and they join on the different levels with the different kits, and you get rewarded for sharing LifeWave with people. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a quick 6-minute clip where we've got Onyx Cole that actually goes through the 4 steps of how you can make money through LifeWave. But the first one is, as George mentioned just now, is the commission compensation plan. This is where you start building teams that works on a binary. You've got a left team and you've got a right team. And you can earn commissions up to $25,000 a week. And there are people doing it. Right, here we go. Let me press play here.
We're going to talk a little bit about the compensation plan. And this sheet of paper is found on the QF for Quantum Field Team, TEAM Biz, biz.com. You all want to write that site down because that is basically your center focus where you're going to go when you want to learn how to build business and you want to help your people build business. I know what's going on right now. All of you all are in your black books calling everybody you know, and they're getting in because it's you that's calling and your ignorance on fire. And I'm encouraging you, be ignorance on fire as long as possible. You don't need to know everything to build this business. When I started, I just started texting people. I didn't even have a patch in my hand. I worked off of the testimonial of my sponsor, and she had only been in for like 5 days. It wasn't like she had been in for very long, but she had already had a huge testimonial. So in this opportunity, I encourage all of you, lead with the patch. Lead with the patch. These stem cells, this product is amazing. David's got more than 100 patents, more than 80 scientific studies, so you can lead with it. And it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee for your distributors and a 90-day money-back guarantee for your customers. Now, the compensation plan. A lot of you have asked about it. If you go to the QFteambiz.com website, one of the steps, which I believe is step number 8, is compensation plan. And there's longer videos on there that you all can watch if you want to see a longer video. So this little sheet is there in the compensation plan section. So you can download this sheet and print this sheet for yourself. One of the ways that we get paid is called the Product Introduction Bonus, PIB. And so that is based on whatever kit your people come in at. So it's based on your personals. So if they come in on 1 sleeve, it's a bronze. If it's 3 sleeves, it's a silver. If it's 5 sleeves, it's a gold. And it goes up to 11 and to 19 sleeves. So you'll see in this product introduction sheet, if you put in a bronze, you make $15. If you put in a silver, you make $50. And it goes all the way up to $200 as a diamond. You put in a diamond unless you yourself are a diamond. So one of the cool things is I tell everyone when you get started in this business is your goal is to bring 3 people in as diamond. And the reason that is because when you come in as a diamond, for that 90 days, you're also qualified as a senior director, which means everyone you personally sponsor on a diamond kit, you will earn a $500 bonus. So if you bring in a minimum of 3 people as diamonds in that first 90 days, you will have basically earned your product back. So now all of your sampling product becomes free. So I think this is fantastic. And a lot of people in this team have already had huge product introduction bonus payouts in their first week in the business. So it's wonderful. Okay, second section of the business is the binary commissions, which we call cycle bonus. Most people know about this. This is a left team and a right team. Binary means what? 2. So you're going to build 2 teams. Everybody, including myself, builds 2 teams. And I always say, even if you end up on a power leg, which I did not, I wanted to build 2 teams. Even if you do, I encourage you to put people into the power leg because you always want to be in control of your own business. That's just what I think anyway, in terms of building a binary. But this is a 1/3, 2/3 binary. So when you have 330 points on your lesser leg and 660 points on your greater leg, corporate pays you a $50 cycle bonus. So they subtract those points out of the left team and the right team, and they pay you a $50 cycle bonus. Now you can cycle hundreds of times in a week. In fact, you can cycle all the way up to $25,000 a week in cycle bonus, which is huge, absolutely huge. So it's the bulk. That is like the bulk of the compensation plan. So it's a 1/3, 2/3 binary. And at the bottom of that sheet, you'll see right here, this is the cap on cycle bonus based on your paid as rank for that week. As a manager, you can earn up to $1,500 a week just in cycle bonus. Okay, so that is cycle bonus. Gen match. Now, when I got here, I thought this is really strange because it's only 3 generations. And I said to David, who is the founder and the owner and CEO, after being here for about 8 weeks, I called David up and I said, I really like this. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, I really like that it's 3 generations because it's keeping us all honest. What it's saying is keep sponsoring, keep your personals for yourself. You're going to earn 25% of their cycle bonus, all of your sponsors. So I put in a player one time and he said to me, wait a minute on this. So if I sponsor 4 people and they all max out cycle bonus, so they each make $25,000 a week, I make $6,250 a week per person. So I'll make another $25,000 a week just on 1 generation. I was like, yeah. So what I said to David is one of the reasons that I like this is even when you're getting started in the business, you're not making $1 or $2 in generational match. You'll find very quickly within weeks, many of you will make 50, $100 on your first generation. You're like, wow, I'm like weeks into this business and look at it going already. So first generation is 25%, second generation is 20%, and third generation is 20%. There is no cap currently on generational match. Right now, it is unlimited. The next way that you can get paid is retail profits. And that is basically if you have somebody that's going to come in as a customer, they can come in as a retail customer, and it's written right there, or they can come in as a preferred customer. And based on what they come in, we'll decide the bonus that you're going to earn. See that right there at the top left of the screen? You can find it right there, qfteambiz.com, step 8 comp plan. We're going to talk a little bit about.
Okay, so I was if you want to call it ignorance on fire, because last week while we were on the Zoom call, the penny only dropped for me how powerful this slide is over here, generation matching bonus. That's when I realized how powerful this actually is. Yes, I understand how binary works to get your matching bonuses, but your generation matching bonuses, I've never seen anything as powerful as this.
He only understood it last week, and it's like he kind of fell over.
I kind of fell over. I didn't sleep
Incredible.
last week Wednesday. Last week Wednesday night, I didn't sleep. I had LifeWave insomnia from excitement because I realized what we're sitting on right now. This is the most powerful compensation plan plus product I've ever seen in my entire life. And everything that you've seen now, if you want to go into a bit more of a deep dive, we could sit on a Zoom call now for the next hour going through the compensation plan. But we've just really given you a snapshot, a quick 6-minute snapshot on the basics. There are, you can get back to the person who invited you onto the Zoom call, and they can send you a link if you want to dig a bit deeper into how the comp plan works. You can go into the finer detail of it. There's about 40 minutes worth of clips. By the time you watch that, you'll know it's completely inside out. And all of this can be found on the build331.com website. Absolutely everything, every tool that you can think of. Here we go, build331.com. And what I love about this is the tools that are in place. Every single tool you can think of is at your fingertips. And if you're like me, I try and get the basics as quickly as possible. I try not to get myself too overwhelmed, because that happened to me a little bit in the beginning. I was going, oh my goodness, I felt like a kid in a candy store. There was resources on the back office. There was resources here. There were videos here. There were clips here. And I felt a little bit overwhelmed. So eventually I thought, let me just take it step by step and go to the basics. And this is where the Build 331 site comes into play. And then more the tools is, as I mentioned earlier, is the startx39.com website. Now that's the one which is all product based. And that's when you've spoken to somebody about the product and the concept and the company, you can send them to that website, and all the tools are available there, all the video clips, the test results and everything. Then we've got the, you actually go into Facebook and you can search for Quantum Field X39 team. A lot of amazing testimonies on that group every single day. Then Onyx Cole has got her YouTube channel, which is absolutely amazing. Everything is categorized, all the playlists are in place. So everything you're looking for, you search for Onyx Cole Network Marketing. Then there's the Quantum Field X39 testimonies. And then you can also, as I mentioned, go onto the Build 331 website.
Not to mention that we have, for those who join with us, we have a smaller WhatsApp group with a lot of interaction. And we also have our own channel where these calls get posted. So perhaps, Chris, we should I'll do a QR code so for both of those.
That sounds like a fantastic idea. Very, very good idea. So there we go. Let me put that off and stop share. There we go. Oh, awesome. Okay, so that is the nuts and bolts of what LifeWave is all about. And let me tell you something. I've never been this excited in, I can't remember how long. Now, what got me going? What got me excited is the results. Now, personally, my mom has had a disease called fibromyalgia that started with the Epstein-Barr virus, and it's a muscle degenerative disease where my mom has not been able to sleep for longer than an hour because she wakes up from the pain. In fact, my mom would cry from the pain. That's how severe it is. And then you start getting sleep deprivation, which has caused my mom to get panic attacks. It just has a whole compounding effect. And my mom has spent a fortune on doctors, specialists, chronic medication, you name it. And nothing has worked. Absolutely nothing has worked. So when I came across the patches and started using them myself, and after 5 days, when I started getting results, I went to go see my mom and I took the patches to her. And I said, Mom, I think I have found the magic cure. I think this is going to help you. And my mom said to me, you know what? Don't waste your money on me. You know, we've tried everything. And I just said to her, you know what? I'm not asking you to take them. I'm telling you that you need to try this product. So we patched my mom, and she sent me a message after day 3 and said, my boy, my toothache has disappeared. I didn't know she had toothache for 6 months. The toothache disappeared after 3 days, guys, 3 days. Then she went for an operation 4 years ago where she got a lump cut off of her nose. And for the last 2 years, she's had a cyst on the inside of her nose that would be leaking and dripping this fluid. And she's taken antibiotics. She's gone to take tablets. She puts ointment up in her nose, and it just hasn't stopped. And she said to me that the leaking stopped coming out of her nose. And every day it got smaller and smaller and smaller. And after 2 weeks, it turned into a little scab and it's fallen off. It's totally disappeared. But now this is the most amazing part is after 3 weeks, my mom, for the first time in 16 years, is pain-free. She's pain-free. It's the first time she's able to sleep through the night without waking up every hour. And this is the first time in 16 years. So if people say, Chris, you look like an Energizer bouncing, an Energizer bunny, you're excited. You know why? Because of what it's done for myself and what it's done for my mom. Because I've seen what has not worked for her. And to see this product work, yes, it's taken 3 weeks. So yes, some people, like we said, will get a result absolutely immediately, but you've also got to keep into consideration how long a person's had this ailment for. Now, what my mom did was she was at the shops and she's got the patch at the back of her neck, and she was at the shops and she had a seizure and her legs started freezing. This is part of her disease as well. And she cannot move her legs and she just gets pain running down. She took the patch off her neck and she put it on her hip. And she said literally after about 2 minutes, the pain subsided and the seizure went away and she was able to get back to her car. Now, normally, she would phone me. She would get stuck at the shops and I'd have to go and assist her. So you know how beautiful it is to see my mom getting in the car, going to the shops on her own, being able to drive on her own, and she's just got a lot more energy. She can get through the day in one piece. So, you know, for me, just seeing the results, there's just there's no words to actually describe it. No words to describe it.
Dean asked a question, and he said, has there anyone been using patches with renal failure on dialysis? So what I do when Chris, I was in a supermarket, Chris said to me, is there anybody has a testimonial about fibromyalgia? I said, okay, hang on. And I stopped in between the aisles, went to YouTube and put LifeWave fibromyalgia, found a testimonial and sent it to Chris. So I just did the same thing here, Dean. And if you go to YouTube and put LifeWave kidney dialysis, there's a man who's been on dialysis for 41 years. He's got a testimonial there. You may want to look at that. Is there somebody else here who would like to share something? I'm always very happy to hear Susan's update, if she's still here, or anybody else. I'd love to hear if we have some more testimonials to share.
Oh, quickly on on the products and testimonies, a very good YouTube channel to link into is Dr. Stacy. My girlfriend and I have been watching a whole lot of videos today. My goodness gracious, there's such amazing information there. So you actually you got
Stacy. I'll type it in the chat.
Dr. Stacy, STACI.
I'll type it in the chat.
Dr. Stacy.
If somebody has something they would like to share, please open your mic or raise your hand. Okay, Ingi, great. Always good to hear. Ingi has a story. If you haven't heard from Ingi before, prepare to have goosebumps.
And we've got load shedding, so I've got a lamp on and I'm walking around like this. Hi, everybody. I have trigeminal neuralgia, which is something similar to fibromyalgia, but it's not the muscles. Normally, there are 3 causes for trigeminal neuralgia, and that's either multiple sclerosis or a tumor somewhere on your brain or damage to your spine. Now, when I was 19 years old, I had a motor car accident and damaged the first 2 vertebrae of my neck. And at the time, the doctor said to me, if you go into traction for the next 2 years, you should be okay. We might be able to pull it straight and you won't have any problems. Unfortunately, or fortunately at the time, I just started an all-girl band and we got a contract to go and tour overseas. So then we were off on a 6-month tour and I couldn't go into traction. And I'll never forget the first night that I had my first attack was on that tour. And I was in a room next door to Queen, the band. Freddie Mercury was next to me. The drummer was next to him. And I woke up screaming in pain. I didn't know what was wrong. My head was on fire. Because what happens is you have a trigeminal nerve in your skull and it feeds all the nerves in your head. So all your teeth, your nose, your sinuses, your eyes, everything, your skin. So when I would have an attack, I couldn't touch my skin. It felt like it was on fire. I couldn't see. My eyes would swell up and start watering. My nose would become blocked, and yet it would be running like water. And I couldn't control any of the stuff. And Chris, you talk about your mom crying sometimes. As I got older, when I hit my 40s, I started having an attack every day. Because as you get older, your stem cells are dying, nothing there to help you repair. So by the time I hit my 60s, and I just turned 66 in January, I was having 8 to 10 attacks a day. Every morning I would wake up at 5 to 5 having an attack. And I would literally go mad. I became so depressed and it's impossible to work. I lost my business because you can't make appointments because you wake up, you're getting ready and all of a sudden you have an attack and then I couldn't drive, couldn't talk, couldn't even let people know that I couldn't make the meeting. So I had to sell my house last year because I'd lost my business. I couldn't work. I went blind. I had 2 cataracts and I fell and I crushed my cheekbones. You can't see now, but I had such a swollen face, even up until before I started the patches, because fractured cheekbones, you can't set, you can't do anything about that. You just got to wait and let it heal naturally. So Wilson, one day, the person who introduced me to LifeWave, he said to me, listen, you mustn't tell everybody about your trigeminal neuralgia. Maybe if you don't talk about it so much, then it'll go away. I was so annoyed with him. I said to him, listen, the only reason I tell people about it is because if I'm working with somebody and they're trying to get hold of me and I'm not answering my phone, they need to know why. So anyway, Wilson at the end of December messaged me and he said, listen, I had the most amazing December and I've got something I want to show you. So he sent me an info and I didn't even look at it. I thought, hey, you told me by not talking about it, my trigeminal neuralgia might go away. I'm not even going to look at that damn thing. And then he sent me another message, said, have you looked? I said, no, I'm going to have a look. And then I phoned him and I said, all right, I've had a look. It's all natural. I doubt that this is going to help me because nothing else has. But let's try. He said, are you at home? I said, yes. He said, I'm coming to bring you a patch. So he arrived at my house and I wear a neck brace normally, which I don't have on now. And I have a hard brace and a soft brace. And I would have to sleep in my hard brace to make sure that my neck didn't move in a strange way while I was sleeping. Otherwise, then it would wake me up before 5 o'clock with an attack. So he arrived at my house and I was in the kitchen and I had my hard neck brace on because I'd had a day of it. By the end of the day, I couldn't hold my neck up anymore, literally. I would have to have the brace on. So he said to me, come, take off your brace, let's put on the patch. And I thought, oh, dear God, here we go now. What's going to happen? Put the patch on. I said, let me pour you a cool drink. I did. sat down at the table, lit up a cigarette. All of a sudden, I thought, damn, I've got no pain. 10, 15 minutes had passed, and my pain was gone. And when I can tell you that I would have, on a level of 1 to 10, at least between a 3 to 5 every day. Every day. I lived with it. And in fact, I often would think to myself, damn it, if I get really sick, I won't know to go to a doctor because I'm so used to living in pain and just trying to ignore it. So I've been on the patches now for a month, and I've noticed my nails are growing beautifully. First of all, I've had 1 or 2 attacks, but it's been when I've done something stupid, like I had to go and fetch animal food. So I had 5 bags of 15 kgs. With what I've got, I'm not allowed to pick up anything. Even my handbag, if it's too full, I get an attack from putting it on my shoulder. So I picked up these 4 bags and I carried them inside because there was nobody to help me. And true as anything, an hour later, I had an attack. And the next morning, I had 3 attacks. And I'd taken my patch off in the evening when I'd gone to bed. And when I woke up having another attack, I put on an X39 onto my neck where I felt the pain. And within 5 minutes, the pain was gone. So I am now on my patches every day. I'm drinking a ton of water. I never used to drink water at all. Coca-Cola and Red Bull. That was my thing. And so now I'm drinking tons of water, still drinking Coke, but 1 sip after a glass of water. And I'm just feeling fantastic. Also, in my first weeks, it was almost like I felt high, but it was also that effect of not having to live with the pain, you know? So it was a combination of this elation of no more pain. Because at 65, 66, I thought to myself, what the hell is the point of life if I wake up every morning feeling the way that I do and I can't function? So LifeWave has literally changed my life. Just another little thing, I had some kind of a fungus growing on my toes, 2 of my toes, 1 on each foot. It's like a little black mark that comes under your nail. And I've been buying Loseril 5%, which they say will cure these things. Costs 500 Rand for a 1 milliliter bottle, 500 Rand. And I've used this Loseril 50% or whatever it's called about 3 times. Never had any results. The other day, I keep all my old patches because I put them on my animals too. And I took 2 of the old patches and I stuck them on each of my toes with a piece of sticky tape around it. And I left them on for the 12 hours. Anyway, took them off, didn't really look at it or anything like that. But I've noticed now 3 days later, my toes have started clearing up. And where they were looking really horrible and hard and horny on these 2 toes where I had these little black marks, they are now coming back to normal. Still got the little black mark, but now I'm going to keep putting the patches on them, old patches. So my cat also got run over by a car, and he had a crushed pelvis and a crushed left leg. And I took him to the vet, and the vet said to me, put him down, he's going to have no quality of life, because his femur was really crushed. There wasn't one piece of solid bone. So I said to him, I'm not putting the cat down, give him a chance. They said, well, there's one thing we can do. We can put a metal rod into his leg, and it actually attracts the bone fragments. And if it works, all the bone fragments will come, grow around this rod, and it'll push the rod out of his skin. So I said, do it. He put the thing on, and I started putting my patch on my cat. Every time I took mine off, I put it on him. 2 weeks, this cat was healed. Let me tell you, crushed pelvis. The doctor, when I took him to the doctor actually closed the door, and he sat back on his stool, and he leaned back with his arms crossed, and he said, I can't believe this. I've never seen this kind of recovery.
Yeah, I hope you told him about
of course, I told him about the patches. Now I've got to take him some. Exactly. But this cat, you cannot believe him. He is running around. He's now in his 4th week after his accident, and he's running around like all the others, jumping, playing, totally normal. And you can't even really see that he's got a limp. How's that?
Unbelievable. I love it.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah. So my life has changed. This is a miracle. And anybody who doesn't try it has got to be an idiot. I'm sorry. There you go.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah.
testimonial.
Somebody who's always busy. 4 months I've been telling her, pay attention. And I
Yeah.
said something to her today on the phone. And she said, "That's very arrogant." I said, "Yeah, but you know what? I got 4 months of experience and listening to people
There you
do
go.
stuff today, so I can do that."
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Well, thank you, Wilson, if you're on the call, for bringing me those patches.
And talking about Wilson, everybody, don't forget to come on tomorrow's call because Wilson's going to share some amazing stuff with us as well. I think we have another hand raised here.
Thank you, Ingy. Thank you. That was absolutely
my pleasure.
It's a nice connection
Thank you.
again. I got your message. I've just been crazy the last 2 days, but I'll WhatsApp you, all right?
Oh, good. Thank you.
Pleasure.
I'm trying.
Whoops, sorry. I pressed the wrong button.
I'm just trying to put my hand down.
Okay, I'll do that for you.
Thank you. I'll get there.
Okay, and then Kenneth.
Thanks so much.
Let's call it tonight.
So we haven't had another hand up, no?
Yes, where did Kenneth disappear to? Kenneth, there we go. Ask to unmute.
Well, I can tell you what. Since I've been using the patches for 2 weeks now, I've been sleeping very nicely nowadays. My leg is not shaking anymore as much as it used to. And also, I'm finding no more seizures at all, like I used to.
Wow. Wow, Kenneth.
And also my toenails. Ingy, I also used to have black, purple toenails because long ago, a boy stepped on my big toenails long ago, so it went black, actually purple. So we couldn't get rid of that problem until later this year. So we started trying to use different medications to try and get the nail off, pull the nail off, and the pus going everywhere. And going to doctors doing this, doing that, doing this medication, doing this, doing that. And then when I started using X39, yeah, it actually started helping my toenails as well.
Wow.
And now it's growing back to normal now, normally like it is, a normal toenail.
Wow, thank you for that. And that's in such a short time frame. That's absolutely amazing, Kenneth. You know, this is where we talk
Yeah,
about. Let me ask you a question, Kenneth. When are you going to give up using X39?
Never. Because I'll tell you what, hey, the X39 actually gives me more energy, and it actually makes you more happier than a normal person is. So I don't know why that is, but it is.
Yeah, it is true.
It's restarting your whole body. It helps with the serotonin, dopamine levels. It
yeah, even if you're tired.
Yeah.
Even if you're tired in the day, it helps you not be tired.
Yep. Absolutely amazing.
And negative thoughts.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, it's amazing. I love it.
Hey, you popped into the room now. We have Kavi.
Javi, great. I was hoping he'd manage to come in. Javi, I'm going to ask you to unmute and unmute your microphone. Let's have a word or two from Javi, our upline. I don't know if you heard these last two amazing testimonials. I hope you did, because they're both amazing, and no doubt Chris will cut them out and make separate little videos out of them because he's a genius like that. Both from Kenneth and Ingy.
I will do that.
Oh, let me tell you, I wanted to pop in here. I'm just like everybody else. I'm going from person to person to person when it comes to this patch. And you want to know something, guys? I've never in my 15 years experience see something like this work as effective as it does in a short period of time. Now, there's some people who are longer than others because some people's stem cells are more dormant longer than others. However, the fact that it works and how passionate I am about this and how everybody else on this call, how passionate they are about this, those testimonials that are on this call were phenomenal. Add them to the list. And I don't know if you heard my story, and I'll just make it short and concise. My son has autism, and we went twice overseas to get him injected with stem cell, and it was very minimal results. And my sponsor, our upline, Mike Hernandez, called me, gave me these patches. We put it on our son. And as a parent, you know you're going to do whatever it takes for your son to live a more quality of life. He is nonverbal. He cannot speak. However, he points at what he wants to do. And within 1 week of using this patch, he started swinging on a swing that he never done before without us helping him. We were dumbfounded when we saw it. 2 weeks later, he started riding the Peloton. We have a Peloton in the house. Autism is a brain-body disconnect. The brain says one thing, the body says another. Alex could not coincide the functions. He started riding the Peloton. We have it on video. Everybody here has saw it. And with that alone, we went on the ground running. And if you're on this call today and this phenomenal presentation that George and Chris did, guys, you have a patch and you have an opportunity to change the life of somebody with their health, physically, financially, spiritually, emotionally, however they want it. We're here to fill the gaps in everybody's void in their life. Everybody here has influence. I know people here personally. I know Susan, I know Kenneth, George, Chris, everybody else here on the call. Let me tell you something. You couldn't be led by no one else better than these people on this call right now, because they're on a mission to take this patch globally. We are in over 100 countries, and the company already has a list of countries they want to open in the list already. They just finished opening Korea. It took them a couple of years to do that. But you want to know something? We have 100 of other countries who was waiting for us to go into their territory to introduce them to this patch. And with that being said, guys, I am so honored to be a part of this team. I am so honored to be a part of this leadership, because iron sharpens iron. And we're on a mission here to touch people's lives in every possible way. You couldn't be in better hands than George and Chris and Susan and Kenneth and I can't mention everybody else on this team. A new guy here, Sport Q Africa. Come on, baby. You're on the right team right here. You couldn't be in a better team. South Africa, Spain, Mexico, and on. I can't even name all the countries we ever landed in and counting. Anyway, love you guys. I'm about to hop in this meeting right here because these people need some patches. All right. Javi, out. Mwah.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for popping in. Always an honor having you on our calls. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll chat soon, okay? Harvey, just quickly popped in between patching people. Every time I speak to Harvey, what are you doing? I'm patching people. I'm patching people. I'm on a mission. I've got a whole lot of stock that arrived on Thursday, so I'm locked, loaded, and ready. And I want to be seeing 3 to 4 people a day to patch people, because that is where the magic happens. That's where the magic happens. So, guys, from my side, thank you so much.
Just to remind, we have the call tomorrow.
Yes,
work call tomorrow.
Yes, Wilson.
Really important. Same link, same time. I'm going to post it. So join us on that workshop. And Wilson, but I had a little call with Wilson. I think Chris also did. And he's going to be talking about some really interesting stuff. So we're all going to learn. I certainly am, because I'm not a social media person. I'm a talk to people person.
I was with Wilson yesterday. It was yesterday, eh? Yeah, yesterday. Geez, days just fly. I was with Wilson, and wow, let me tell you something. What Wilson's going to be sharing with us tomorrow, guys, have your pen and paper ready. He's going to show you some things that it's going to absolutely blow your mind, and things that we can do for free from a social media point of view. Social media is powerful, guys, and we need to we got to get this word out, and we've got to help as many people as we can. So from my side, I want to say good night. God bless. Have an awesome evening. George, thank you so much. It's an absolute pleasure presenting and co-hosting together with you. And
Likewise.
thank you. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Hasta
Enjoy, guys.
pronto.
Good night, everybody. Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.